The Heart Sutra is a very important sutra in Buddhism. So let's start it now. We start by, first of all, we read the sutra first. It's a very short sutra, but it contains a lot of the Buddhist teaching or the Buddha's philosophy in it, the philosophy of emptiness, voidness. So let us put our palms together and let's chant from the very beginning together. Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra, the Heart Sutra of perfect wisdom. Avaloki Tesvara Bodhisattva, when practicing the profound Prajna Paramita, perceived that the five skandhas are empty and thereby became free from all suffering. O Saraputra, form is none other than emptiness. Emptiness is none other than form. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true with perception, conception, volition, and consciousness. O Saraputra, all dharmas are characterized by dependence upon causation. They are neither created nor do they perish, neither defile nor immaculate, neither increasing nor decreasing. Therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no perception, no conception, no volition, no consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body or mind, no form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or object of mind, no realm of the eyes up to no realm of consciousness. No ignorance, nor its extinction up to no age and death, nor the extinction. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no extinction, no path, no wisdom, and also no attainment, because there is no object to be obtained. The Bodhisattvas, through practicing Prajna Paramita, have no obstacles in mind. Having no obstacles, they overcome fear, liberating themselves forever from delusions, ultimately realizing nirvana. All Buddhists of the past, present, and future, relying on Prajna Paramita, attain Anuttara Samya Sambuddhi. Therefore, one should know that Prajna Paramita is the great supernatural mantra, the great, bright, unsurpassed, unequaled mantra, the destroyer of all suffering, the truth. A mantra of Prajna Paramita should therefore be proclaimed. This is the mantra. Gadde, Gadde, Pragadde, Prasam Gadde, Bodhi Swaha. Put your palms down. So this is the Heart Sutra or the Hridaya Sutra. The word Hridaya is a Sanskrit word, a classical, ancient, Indian word meaning heart. Hridaya means heart. Now, in this session, what we will do, we want to achieve something. We want to explain the title of the sutra. The title of the sutra is Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. And translated into common English, meaning is the Heart Sutra of perfect wisdom. So what's the meaning of Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra? That's a Sanskrit word, Sanskrit pronunciation, classical Indian language, spoken at the time of the Buddha. Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra in the Chinese language is Bora Paramito Sin Jing. The Buddhist teaching was originally written in Sanskrit, and then for this thousands, 1,600, 1,700 years, many of the sutras were translated by student monks who traveled all the way from India, from China to India, and learned philosophy and brought back sutras and set up translation academies to translate all the sutras. Why is this Heart Sutra important in the studies of the Buddhist teaching? Why is it important that we have to study it? The Heart Sutra is the summary of the Diamond Sutra. And the Diamond Sutra is a summary of another longer sutra, the Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra, Great Perfection of Wisdom Sutra, Da Bore Jing, which contains 600 volumes, the last substantial translation of the most venerable Xuan Zang of the Tang Dynasty of China, circa 640 AD, which is about 1,500 years ago, 1,500 years ago. So Xuan Zang spent 17 years in India. He traveled from China to India 1,400 years ago, and the trip took 3 years to travel through the Himalayas, through the Silk Road, very dangerous road. Many monks travel at that time just to study in India, and many of them lost their lives without reaching India. Only a few make it to India. Among the few who make it to India is Xuan Zang, and he spent the most time in China, 17 years. He didn't know any Indian language. He didn't know Sanskrit, he didn't know Pali, and he didn't understand the culture of India. But then he spent 17 years as a foreign student studying in India in Lalanda Monastery. Lalanda Monastery still exists now. It is called Lalanda University. So Xuan Zang was among many of the monks who traveled to India to learn the Buddhist teaching 1,400 years ago, and brought back many sutras, because Xuan Zang, after 17 years, became the teacher of the nation, a very studious student who studied for 17 years and later became the country's national teacher. The King of India made him the national teacher, the national master. But on many requests by Xuan Zang wanted to bring back sutras to China, because that was his original intention. His original intention was not to become the national teacher of India. His original intention was to bring back sutras to China. So he expressed that to the king, and the king finally granted his request and sent a whole troop back with him. When he first traveled to India, he traveled alone, all by himself. He almost lost his life. He wrote an autobiography about his travel, and his autobiography was translated into 23 languages, and it was also written in English, translated in English. You can always get that. Read about his autobiography, about the whole time about his travel. Now, he brought back a lot of sutras, and one of the many sutras he translated is the Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra is a summary of the Diamond Sutra, and the Diamond Sutra is a summary of 600 volumes of Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra. He spent 5 years to translate the 600 volumes. So that you study the Heart Sutra, that's like a summary among a summary of Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra. So what's the meaning of Prajnaparamita? Prajna, as I said, is a Sanskrit word. Pra means supreme and unique. Jna is consciousness or understanding. So prajna means supreme and unique understanding, supreme and unique consciousness. So when we talk about supreme and unique consciousness, that is not just of average intelligence of the world, it is about wisdom of the world. Paramita means perfection. Parama also means the other shore. So the person who has arrived on that shore, the other shore, if he follow and study and practice prajna, he would depart from this shore of confusion, this shore of suffering, crossing the ocean and get into that perfect shore, the other shore of enlightenment, the other shore of nirvana, which is free from suffering, free from mental defilements. So this title is very comprehensive. It tells you just follow the Buddha's teaching and you will go into that shore of enlightenment. It doesn't imply anything about faith. You believe in me and you will be blessed. You will have all the blessings. No, you have to study it. You have to understand prajna. What is prajna? We'll research into it. Prajna about yourself, about me, about everything, about the whole universe, the wisdom of the universe. You have to acquire wisdom in order to arrive at that shore. It's not just by blind faith or by one-sided blessings. You have to depend on yourself. You have to cultivate it yourself, not just by dependence on Buddha to bless you. You are the master. You have the Buddha within you. You have to discover that Buddha within you. The Buddha already have discovered the Buddhahood within himself, and he want you to explore it, not just blindly believe in it. So that's prajna paramita. Prajna is not the same as intelligence. Prajna is wisdom. Why didn't Xuanzang, the Chinese monk, translate that as intelligence or wisdom? Why did he want to maintain that word prajna and not translating it? There's a reason for it. Because he can translate it as the perfection of wisdom sutra, but he didn't want to. Because prajna is different from temporal wisdom or temporal worldly intelligence. Prajna is a kind of wisdom that embraces not only worldly wisdom, but it also embraces wisdom beyond this world, beyond wisdom. Because worldly wisdom is not enough. By using worldly wisdom, you may not be able to attain nirvana, enlightenment. Look, there are many people with high wisdom, with high intelligence, very intelligent scientists created many things. One of the many things is atomic bombs, hydrogen bombs. The intention, what is the intention? The intention is to occupy another country, to destroy another country, or to be the master of a scientific technique. So it does not contain an altruistic motive. The perfection of wisdom, which attained in this world and not beyond, just of this world, could be contained in egoistic motive. You could misuse your wisdom. You misuse your wisdom, then you destroy the world. But the prajna wisdom is different. It is an altruistic wisdom, which includes not only of the world, it's beyond the world. It's a wisdom of compassion. It's not wisdom based on a motive of personal pursuit. It's a wisdom of the Bodhisattva, of the Buddha, which is embracing not only of this world, it's beyond the world. So that's the reason why Venerable Xuanzang, when he translated it, he preserved the meaning, prajna, not using wisdom. Because wisdom is too limited. Wisdom is not enough. It's more than wisdom. So you are learning something that is beyond wisdom. It includes wisdom, but it's beyond wisdom. Let's explore more into it. We explained prajna paramita. Now we explain the word hridaya, which is heart. In the ancient days, heart does not mean the physical heart, the flesh and blood heart. It means the mind, not just the heart. So the heart Hridaya has many, many meanings, has many, many perspectives. And we can group all these meanings into 4. The first one is the physical heart. The heart means the physical heart. The second is the sense center consciousness. The third is the ego consciousness heart. The fourth is the store consciousness heart. Here, the sutra does not mean the physical heart. It's easy to understand the physical heart. It's an organ. It's a bodily organ, the central unit of the circulation of the blood. That's not what it means in here. It's easy to understand that if it is just the bodily heart. The second includes more than that. It includes the sense center consciousness. Do you realize that you in your body, in your mind, it contains 6 senses? Your eye, your ear, your nose, your tongue, your body. Your eyes, what did your eyes do? Your sensual organ, your eyes see. Without your eyes, you cannot see. So your consciousness depends on your eyes seeing things. When the Buddha's teaching analyze something, it analyzes it in detail. Not just the heart, the mind, no. It goes into minute detail. So first of all, you have to understand what are your senses. Why? Because your senses interact with the outside world. Your senses are important to you. Your senses open the doors of your body to the outside world and open the outside world into your heart. But then your senses also are the culprits of suffering, are the culprits of all your actions, all your speeches. The senses help you, but it also ruin you if you misuse your senses. So that's the reason why the Buddha put particular attention to the study of the senses. Eyes, your senses, and then what's the next? Your ears. Don't belittle all these senses. They make you to become a saint. They push you down to hell. Depends on how you use them. Have you been misusing them? Some people say, no, I haven't been misusing them. They are under my control. My eyes are under my control. My nose, my ears, they're all under my control. If your eyes are under your control, how can you make the mistakes of seeing? What are you seeing? You're seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing. It's not just a matter of seeing those. When you see those things, you're attached, you're addicted to it. Because seeing itself is just a simple, crude consciousness which is manipulated and articulated by the manager behind it. That's just the front end sales. Your ears, your eyes, your nose, those are just the front end salesmen. There is a manager behind it. They control it, they manipulate it, they articulate it, they get you into trouble. If you understand your senses, if you understand your 6th sense, the mano vijnana, you are on your way to be successful in everything you're doing. Because you are able to control your senses. You are able to control your mind. What happens if you are able to control your mind? Let's drop the religious perspective of it. Just understand from the surface. Just understand from the perspective of positive thinking. What do you know if you can put your mind under control of all your senses? What would you do? You're on your way to success. You will be successful in whatever you're doing. But unfortunately, even if you have the wrong motive, you will still be successful if you have concentration. If the 6th mano vijnana is under your control, actually it does not matter whether you are having the right motive or the wrong motive, it steers you to the way to accomplish what you want to accomplish. That's the reason why Hitler was able to kill 6 million Jews, because he set his mind to do that. The wrong motive. He's determined to do it. Not just him, all his followers. But that's set on the wrong motive. So you are the master of yourself, given you have the right motive. Of course, the right motive is absolutely important. If you have the wrong motive, you're still successful, but you're successful in paving your way to hell. You're successful in hurting other people if you have the wrong motive. Whereas if you have the right motive, you're successful in whatever you're doing. Review the autobiography of all those saints. They were successful in setting their mind to do things that they want to do. That's what the Buddha told us. Set your mind to be free from suffering. Set your mind to be emancipated from your mental defilements. Set your mind to be free from your jealousy, your hatred, your violence, your greediness, your disappointment, your depression. So this is just the beginning of a session. This is about your mind, about you yourself. You pave your way to whatever you are doing, whatever you're going. You set your determination on your own destiny. Some people steer it the right way, and some people zigzag a lot of diverted ways. And the Buddha told us not just to believe in what the Buddha is teaching, listen to what the Buddha has to offer you. It's about yourself, about how you can improve your life, how you can get out of suffering. Not just about getting out of suffering all through yourself, how to help others to be emancipated from suffering. That's the Bodhisattva's approach. That's what the Buddha's approach is. Not just for yourself, for all the world, for everybody, for all sentient beings. That's what the Buddha set out to do. That's why the Buddha was born 2,600 years ago in India, the center supposed to of the universe, and spread out what he found. He didn't create all these things. He didn't invent all these things, all this philosophy. He found it. He found a key to look for this treasure where people can enjoy, the treasure that leads you to nirvana. He found a key to it, and he showed you the key, the map. Are you willing to walk your path? I haven't seen any treasures that are more valuable than the Buddha's teaching. You don't believe me? You just research into Google. It's all there. There's a lot more I have to tell you about the Buddha's philosophy, about yourself, about your mind, about how you can get better, how you can improve yourself. And I'll leave it to the next time.